Happy Wednesday. Hopefully everything's going well with you. Seems like we have a multi-tier justice system. It sucks. Seems like politicians get away with anything. If they're the right type of politicians, if they're part of the Uniparty, then they can do no wrong. Same with certain celebrities, certain wealthy people. They donate to the right causes. But we're going to be talking about Hunter Biden. I think he should be in prison for his crimes he's already committed. It appears that the laptop from hell is real. And there's a lot of crimes on that laptop. It may or may not link to Joe Biden. But Democrat Hunter Biden whistleblower Joseph Zinger comes forward. This is from the New York Post by Stephen Nelson. Washington IRS agent Joseph Ziegler stepped forward Wednesday as a second whistleblower alleged in cover-up criminal investigation of President Biden's son Hunter, calling himself a Democrat who wanted to do what is right. You know, I'm going to make a distinguish right here. There's the voter base, and then there's the politicians. The voters believe what the politicians are going to do, and the politicians don't do what they are going to do, which is take care of American interests. They would rather start wars, start proxy wars with Russia, beat up other countries that don't get in line with the United States regime. They're using NATO as a vessel or a vassal. It's rather annoying because I'm from America. I served in the military. I want to be proud of my country. And I'm not really proud of my country, especially when we hear stories like this, where you have the elites running our country, but they're no more than children running our country, getting away with the murder and sex trafficking and raping, taking away innocence of kids. But yet they get to walk free and get a sweetheart deal and a slap on the wrist. Where if I just do something a little bit minor, like forget to do something in taxes, I have to pay a steep fine or go to prison so I could learn what I did wrong. But these people get away with everything. There's like no accountability. And now that the Democrats are arresting their political opponents because their opponents may be a little bit more popular on trumped up charges. It's disgusting. But let me continue here. Zinger worked on the investigation since opening in 2018 and was joined by his supervisor agent Gary Sharpley, who oversaw the probe since January 2020 at a House Oversight Committee. I was the lead IRS agent on Hunter Biden's investigation. I recently discovered that people are saying I must be more credible because I'm a Democrat who happens to be married to a man, Ziegler said. I'm no more credible than the man sitting next to me due to my sexual orientation or my political beliefs. The truth is, my credibility comes today from my job experience with the IRS and my intimate knowledge of the agency's standards and procedures. I was raised and always strive to do what is right, the IRS agent added. Although I do have my supporters and often said that I am a traitor to the Democratic Party and that I am causing more division in our society, I implore you to consider that if you were in my position with the facts I have stated them, ask yourself if you would be doing the exact same thing. He definitely bodes well to integrity. Let's see. Ziegler added, I hope I'm an example of other LGBTQ people out there who are questioning whether to do the right thing as a potential cost to themselves and others. We should always do the right thing, no matter how painful the process might be. We don't do the things because they're easy. We do things because they're hard and are required to do so. I think John F. K mentioned something like that. We don't choose to go to the moon because it's easy. We don't choose to go to the moon because it's worthless. We choose to go to the moon because we can and it's hard. Sometimes doing the right thing is hard. I get it. People want to go on easy street, look the other way, get a paycheck, get a bonus for looking the other way. Some people can't be bought. Kind of adequate to the feelings and experience I've encountered when coming out, he says. Oh, equate to the feeling. It was honest one of the hardest things I had to go through, but I did what was right, and I'm sitting before you today. Sharply in the case, agent says that Delaware U.S. Attorney David Weiss was not able to charge Hunter Biden with tax crimes in the Southern California and Washington, D.C. because the opposition of Biden-appointed U.S. attorneys directly contradicting Attorney General Merrick Garland's claim and that Weiss had unallowed authority to bring charges even outside of Delaware. Either these two people are lying or Garland's lying. Both men said the investigation steps were slowed walked or blocked and that the authorities tipped off Hunter Biden's legal team about the interest in searching the Northern Virginia storage locker that may have contained evidence and an attempt to interview Hunter in late 2020, wrecking both attempts. This is a contempt of court. This is contempt of the law. This is what they're trying to go after Trump for. They got people saying Trump is going to be behind bars because he contempt of the law, because he prevented the law from taking place. But yet, we have two people here accusing the Bidens of just that, with evidence backing it up. If it wasn't for Fox or New York Post or other right-leaning websites or conservative websites, this would never come to light. We would never have known this. Because the media wouldn't be playing this. They'd be like, it's just nothing. It's a technicality. Don't worry about it. These things happen. He'll pay a fine and everything will be set to right. And don't get me wrong, both conservatives and liberals have their biases. They get that the left will play cover for the Democrats and the right will play cover for the Republicans. They also said the proposed interview other Biden family members that was rejected effort to analyze President Biden's role in his son's lucrative consulting work in countries where he held sway as vice president were barred by prosecution in the U.S. Attorney Office in Delaware. Shapley, who also worked for the IRS for 14 years, and a subordinate who has worked for 13 years of experience, previously interviewed privately on May 26 and June 1st by the House Ways and Means Committee, weeks before the Justice Department announced a probation-only plea deal for Hunter Biden featuring 2 tax crimes misdemeanors and a felony gun charge that would be expunged after 2 years, like it never happened. Never happened. I mean, I guess you go to Austin and you get that sweetheart deal with DA Jose Garza if you're the right skin tone or right political party or affiliation. Let's hear. Weiss has issued written statements to give the impression that he denies the IRS agent claim that he lacked independent prosecution authority through subtle differences in terminology, meaning that the question is still open. The Ways and Means Committee last month released a WhatsApp text message provided by Sharpley that Hunter sent to a Chinese businessman associated in July 30th, 2017, invoking his father and threatening retribution if the agreement was not fulfilled, reportedly prompting the flow of about $5 million within 10 days from the Chinese government link CEFC China Energy Company. The case agents said he prepared statements to another WhatsApp message sent on August 3rd, 2017 from the Chinese business associate to Hunter Biden to also hint at Joe Biden's involvement because he offered his best regards to you, Jim, and VP. Jim is reference to first brother James Biden, who worked with Hunter on the deal, which at one point had Joe Biden referred to as the big guy, penciled in for 10% cut. Former Hunter Biden business partner Tony Bolowski said he met with Joe Biden in 2017 about the CEFC deal. I'll outline you some instances in which assigned prosecutors did not appear to follow the normal investigation process, slow-walked the investigation, and put in place unnecessary approvals and roadblocks, Ziegler said. A number of times, we were not able to follow the facts. In total, Hunter Biden allegedly billed Uncle Sam for about $2.2 million in taxes, roughly $8.3 million foreign income from 2014 to 2019. The tax investigator said he pleaded guilty only in reference to failing to pay more than $100,000 in 2017 and 2018. Not only do they get to break the law when caught, they get to pay a less severe penalty. Sharpley is a registered Republican who says he voted for Democrats in the past, including President Bill Clinton, initially contacted Congress in April about his concerns. Exactly 1 week later, Hunter Biden's legal team visited the Justice Department headquarters in Washington to sign that charging decision was close. Tax agent says that they prepared a raft of felony and misdemeanor charges against Hunter Biden, but were confronted by the recent Biden appointees, as well as Wise's own qualms about the charges over the years in 2014 and 2015, which allegedly viewed as more difficult to win a conviction due to potential jury sympathy over Hunter grieving the death of his brother Boo at the time those tax bills were due. On February 25th, 2020, the IRS sent prosecution report forward to the DOJ Tax and U.S. Attorney Office. In my report, proper venue for the case was in the District of D.C. and the Central District of California. We had no venue in Delaware whatsoever for the tax charges, and that we had known this for at least a year prior to the case agent said. Interesting. For failure to file charges, the venue would be where the subject lives. For the false return charges, the venue would be where the returns is prepared or sent from. The tax evasion charge venue would be where the act occurred. For the recommendation of the 2014, 2016, and 2016 felony and misdemeanor tax charges, the believed venue was Washington, D.C. For the recommendation, 2017, 2018, 2019 felony misdemeanor charges, believed venue was Central District of California. There were a series of roadblocks, according to the IRS agents. In late August, early September 2022, Gary Sharpley and I had one last meeting with the Delaware attorney David Weiss, leadership from the Delaware attorney office, to talk about the misdemeanor and felony charges in 2014. The case agents intended to say. At that meeting, I recall David agreed with us regarding potential charges for the 2014-2015 tax years. He said they were great and we had thoroughly investigated, but David has been getting concerns from the DOJ tax regarding charging the 2014 and 2016 tax years. He further said that the view at trial that the evidence brought forward related to these tax years could affect the charges brought for later years, which he stated were more clear and stronger. He cited information regarding the subject's brother's death, Hunter Biden's substance abuse, and that could caused the jury to have sympathy for Hunter Biden and potentially acquit of all charges. At this meeting, David told us that he is still waiting the evidence and the charges at that meeting. We asked David when he plans on charging the case in California. He says hopefully by the end of September. Later, the agent prepared testimony in around January, February 2022, learned that my IRSCI leadership, as well as investigation with the FBI, that they had been told that the California U.S. Attorney Office, President Biden appointed U.S. Attorney E. Martin Estrella, had also said no to bringing the tax case in the District of California. Also early in 2022, got a phone call from the DOJ tax attorney, Mark Daley. Mark Daley had said that now that the U.S. Attorney of District D.C. believes that the President Biden appointed U.S. Attorney Matthew Gates looked at the case and did not want to move forward with the charges, the agent says. In early August of 2022, a federal prosecutor from the Department Tax Division drafted a 99-page memorandum. This memorandum recommended appointing felony and misdemeanor charges for the 2017, 2018, 2019 tax year if Delaware U.S. Attorney David Wise followed the DOJ policy. As he stated in the most recent letter, Hunter Biden should have been charged with a tax felony, not a tax misdemeanor charge. We need to treat each taxpayer with the same under law. You will also say. In early August 2022, we had a phone call with the assigned prosecutor investigator team, including my supervisor, Gary Sharpley, on this call. The assigned prosecutor said that the U.S. Attorney assigned AUSA Leslie Wolf and Carly Hudson, and the DOJ tax attorney assigned Mark Daley and Jack Morgan were going to recommend the approval of the misdemeanor and felony charges for 2017, 2018, 2019 years, and that the appropriate venue would be the Central District of California, which was written up in a 99-page prosecution memo. The White House Press Secretary Corinne Jean-Pierre said that Tuesday the White House did not intend to focus on the hearings through those exchanges, including between the whistleblowers and the House Democrats, are likely to command significant national attention. Let's read some of these comments. I know this video is kind of long. It's kind of a long article. It's frustrating. I get it. Most Americans never used to care about prosecuting their political parties when it came to ethics or law. Breaking that includes journalists. All they cared was the truth. I would never cover up a crime, lie, or do anything dishonest to cover for anyone, including my own family. I applaud this guy for doing what he's going, because him vilified and pain, but it's always better to be able to look at yourself in the mirror knowing that you did the right thing. If we all stood together in actual truth, we would not be in this grotesque, fractured place in America. Proof to your point, almost every single Republican voted to impeach Nixon. The bipartisan Judicial Committee voted 27-1 to bring impeachment charges. Then things changed. The impeachment of Clinton and Trump were wholly partisan. Let's see here. What do I think? Anyone who stands up to intense peer pressure, whether it's from party, religious groups, friends, or bosses, is to be admired and applauded. This is really a true hero. At tremendous cost, which should not be. Look at those FBI whistleblowers that just wanted their organizations to be like it's supposed to be, apolitical. Dinger is a man of integrity. I can care less about his sex life. Dems on the committee wanted to deflect from the subject at hand to Trump people like Flynn, Manafort, Stone. The question they should be asking themselves: have any of the above people been accused of selling out their office in return for $40 million like the Bidens did? Well, Jared got $2 billion and Ivanka got $640 million. Not from selling influence, for the record. The Trump organization legitimate business interests in those countries before he became president, not after. Exactly. They love to throw out that it was legitimate business transaction. Don't think if there was anything to that deal that the Democrats would have blasted it out 24/7 to the Dems. Hunter sold his daddy's influence and daddy got his 10%. That is against the law. Rules for thee, but not for me. Heaven forbid Trump, that's not part of the Uniparty, does something wrong. We got to nail him to the cross. Biden does it. This is how politics gets played. It's disgusting. That being said, that is my video for today. Have yourself a wonderful day, morning, or evening.